Hi guys, and welcome back to the chart of the week from ASXmarketwatch.com. Today I've had quite a few requests for one particular stock, and that's Worley Parsons Limited, or WOR, on the Australian Stock Exchange. And also, there must be something going on because quite a few requests for Bluescope steel as well, so BSL. A lot of people have just written in saying, look, can you check these two out? What's the trend direction looking like? And so, very easy to do. I thought I'd just check out these two stocks for you today. The first one looking at is WOR, so this is Worley Parsons, and anyone who's been following this stock will know that it absolutely got hammered on last Wednesday, the 13th of January 2010, and the reason being is because the market had actually priced it for a lot of good news to come out, and when that good news did not eventuate, in fact, they did pretty much the opposite and downgraded their outlook. The market basically did not like that at all. Now let's look at what would have happened from a trading perspective and where the market for Worley Parsons is currently at the moment. All I've done, there's only two trend lines that I've drawn in for WOR at the moment, and that's my downtrend line, which was crossed in June 2009. So we're looking at about $22.50 as your initial entry for this stock. Could have gotten in earlier if you were so inclined, but a solid trendline entry at about $22.50 for Worley Parsons in June 2009. If you can't see that, that's where it was crossed. That's where the trend line was crossed. It was crossed once in May, but then it couldn't cross above it twice, which is usually what we need for an entry signal. It did that in June, or maybe late May. But yeah, definitely around or under the $22.50. Now, if you had actually entered the stock at that time, you'd still actually have made a gain of approximately 10% on the stock. Not the best gain, but not too shabby either. However, if you were like a lot of people that I knew, you may have entered the stock on a little trend line buy further on, so in December or November 2009. Now, I just want to show you exactly what would happen if you have entered the stock here, because look, these things do happen, guys. The market does gap past your stop price, which it has here for a lot of people, and the market will crash sometimes, or a particular stock will crash sometimes. We have to be ready. That's why I always advocate never risk more than 2% of your overall portfolio on any one trade. And when I say risk, I mean the difference between your entry price, which in this case would have been around $28, say, and your stop loss price, which in this case would be below the previous trough at $25.63. So even though that's around $2.50, the difference there, you would have only risked 2% of your entire portfolio. So you've got your entry, and you've got no warning that there's going to be a dip. All of a sudden, crash bang, we've got the gap past the trend line. Notice how it gaps past the trend line as well, guys. This takes a lot of effort to do, by the way. Basically, if you check out the volume down here, probably 10 times the volume of any other day, of any other single day. That's how much effort it took the sellers to gap past that trend line, because that uptrend line would usually count as support. Anyone who follows the market watch regularly will know that trend lines will usually act as support and resistance. And so in order to do that, wow, that took a lot of selling. Maybe it took a lot of people by surprise, and a lot of people just wanted to get out at any cost. Nevertheless, it definitely would have hit your stop the next day. So you pretty much would have gotten stopped out for your original risk amount, which was your full 2%, or in this case, the difference between the entry and the stop of about $2.50. So I hope that's helped for Worley Parsons. If you want to know where it's at the moment, this is a weekly chart of Worley Parsons, WOR. It's definitely crossed the uptrend line, and it's crossed the previous trough. So for my particular trading style of trading, I would consider this in a downtrend now, and it wouldn't be in an uptrend again unless it could cross back above the $30.90. So that's just me personally. It's not a recommendation, but yeah, definitely you can take it into consideration with your trading if you so desire, and I hope it helps. The next one is Bluescope Steel. So again, nothing out of the ordinary has happened with Bluescope Steel, except for the fact that it has this beautiful little setup happening at the moment. Whether it will eventuate is another story. Again, Bluescope Steel, here we go. We've got our entry signal. This had such a steep trend line. This is our downtrend line. I hope you can see that. I'll just enlarge it a little bit here. Here we go. So this is from 2008 to 2009, and this is pretty much in March 2009, the beginning of the new bull market that we're currently in at the moment. That's when we got our entry signal for Bluescope Steel. So it literally bottomed out when the market bottomed out. Buying in at approximately $2.20, the market is currently at about $3. So, well, from a percentage point of view, maybe looking, what are the maths there? About 25%. However, if you're looking to enter the stock soon or recently, this is the one thing that you've just got to take into consideration. So this little continuation pattern here, hopefully it is a continuation pattern. There's usually a high probability of the prices going upwards if it breaks out of this, but notice how many times it's just bounced off this little continuation pattern trend line here. So that gives it a lot of meat. It gives it a lot of support, if you will. So what that means is if the market crosses above that level, which would be $3.32, that would be considered to have broken out of the continuation pattern there, or even the trend line pattern, if you will. Like they basically mean the same thing. It's just a line in the sand that you could consider that the market has changed trends. So that would be my personal line in the sand, is $3.30. A close above that would mean happy days and a potential entry there. And of course I would usually set my stop loss below the previous trough or halfway between the continuation pattern, which means, just to show you, halfway between the top here and the bottom here, personally I'd be looking at approximately $2.91. Notice how that coincides with the uptrend line support or potential support in the future as well. Very handy things when things converge. That's what we're looking for. Multiple levels of support, your trend line, and yeah, basically a previous trough. So I hope that has helped for Bluescope Steel or BSL and for Worley Parsons. Please feel free to shoot me an email at my website, which is www.asxmarketwatch.com. I'm at dave@asxmarketwatch.com. Yeah, happy to help out, happy to look at different stocks. It's something that I love to do, so it's really not a chore.